What's up, guys? You know who it is. Marcus J. Jackson with another Live Life for you. All right. This is number 65. Respect the process. Okay. Respect the process. Not everybody's there yet, guys. Not everybody is there yet. Some of us are still in the learning curve, right? Some of us are still going through it. Okay. Some of us are still trying to figure this whole relationship thing out, you know? So you got to take your time with us. Spicy.com. I put the resources in the comments. Make sure you take time to go to the Facebook page, I Speak Foxy. All right, join that page. Look out for the retreat flyer coming up in April. It's April 26th through to April 28th. It is going to be a very, very eventful 3 days. There is going to be a lot of information covered. There's going to be a lot of activities covered and a lot of activities focused on healing. Okay. I know a lot of times we talk about, different type of traumatic events that we've been through. But there's not a lot that actually focus on healing, and this entire retreat is dedicated to healing. So you don't want to miss the I Speak Foxy event, the annual event this year. All right. So we are also taking donations. So the Cash Me is also in I Speak Foxy as well. That's in the comments. So feel free, hey, if it's just $1, we will gladly work with that. All right. Gladly work with that. Let me see. Oh, okay. Shout out to Carolyn Romero. If you are in danger of suicide, if you are having suicidal thoughts and you're in danger of hurting yourself or someone else, please get off of this video and call 911 immediately. Okay. You need to get you some help. If you are in a domestic violence situation and, you need to call 911, please call 911, get you some help immediately. The contact numbers are there. The National Suicide Prevention Lifeline is 1-800-273-8255. The Domestic Violence Hotline is 1-800-799-7233. Okay. Please feel free to reach out to those resources. If you guys are tuning in from other countries, I have the UK, Canada, Australia, France. So please reach out to the proper resources that you identify with. You can reach out to me at 469-626-7486. All right. I will be available until 2 a.m. in the morning. After that, please feel free to leave me a message, shoot me a text message or email, or you can inbox me. I answer all of those. If you have any questions, comments, you need to talk, hey, I'm here to listen. All right. So like I said yesterday, I have shifted the messages for the Live Life to dating and relationships. I felt like, we had a great deal of information to share about domestic violence and suicide prevention. So I decided to move on into things that we can benefit from also, and learning a little bit about dating, learning a little bit about relationships, and how to function after you've been through a relationship and things are a little different for you. If you haven't been in the dating world for a while, or, if you're new to, this whole relationship thing, because you've been in a relationship for so long, You've been used to being treated one way for so long, and now you're finally, out and on the market, if you will. You've shaken the cobwebs off from the relationship that you've been in. So I need to fix that. But anyway, so tonight I'm going to be talking about respecting the process, guys. I had an interesting conversation with a young lady today, and I'm a life coach, so I'm always talking about life, and in life there's relationships and there's dating. There's also an abundance of other things that I talk to people about on a day-to-day basis, right? I'm also a realtor, so I'm always digging into someone's life, finding out things about people when they're at their greatest and finding out things about people when they're at their lowest. All right. So it's I like to call it the best of both worlds because, a lot of people don't know, that I'm a coach, a life coach. And when I'm dealing with clients as a realtor, you tend to, you pick up on things, and especially when two people are coming together as a couple, whether it be same-sex couple or, a heterosexual couple, it's the same. There's always a feminine energy and there's always a masculine energy there to balance things. And it is surprisingly the same, no matter what the relationship dynamic looks like, there's always some fundamental things that tend to become a little challenging. I was going to say right and wrong, but there is really no essence of right or wrong. There's consequences and there's actions. And we have to be responsible for our own actions and be able to deal with the consequences of those actions. So, which brings me to my point tonight, respect the process. All right. And I had a conversation with this young lady, and she is experiencing a point in her life where she is a very, very faith-based woman, and her spouse is not so much. Okay, and they are, he's more so on the self-development side, more so on the the spiritual side, more of the self-awareness side. He, know thyself, more of the meditation, more of the learning and, going to the lectures and digging deep into the conscious community, if you will. And I don't think anything's wrong with that. Whatever somebody is willing to learn and dedicate their time to learn, and it makes them a better person, then I'm all for it. I really think that when we're able to accept our spouse or boyfriend or girlfriend, significant other, for who they are and where they are in this life of developing, right? Or this life of learning. When we're able to accept that, I think it makes it that much better, right? Because now you begin to see that, hey, this is something, I put my faith in, or this is something that he puts his faith in, and it makes him a better person. It makes them, want to pursue life. It keeps them motivated to get up every morning and go to work or go to school, or, whatever it does, it helps out in ways that we may not understand, right? So nobody, people may not understand that you are deep seated into organized religion, but they understand, and they're not going to stop you. They're not going to stop you from wanting to, seek the strongest version of yourself in religion. And all right, something's wrong. That's some stuff on my camera. So they're, and vice versa. They're not going to stop you from seeking the strongest version of yourself, going towards more of a spiritual, self-knowledge, self-awareness type, base, for lack of better words. So I think that when we get to a point where we are judging our significant other based on their belief system, I think we get into an area where there is going to be conflict, and not only conflict, but forced conflict. Like, you're forcing an issue when you decide to pit yourself against your spouse because of religious beliefs or different types of moral dogma that that may not serve you as a person. It may serve you as a person, but it may not serve your spouse, and vice versa. It's not something that I don't think, it's just my opinion, it's not something that I don't think is that serious for you to say, well, hey, if you don't believe this way, or, if you don't believe that way, I think it's something that's worth us hanging up the relationship for. Well, if you don't believe like I believe, or if you're going to oppose me, we shouldn't be together, right? I really don't think it's that serious, because I've been through that. I've been through having a spiritual awakening through religious organizations, and I have these, you have these great epiphanies, and you figure these things out, and you feel as though that there's some type of higher power bringing you these revelations and bringing you these realizations that make you feel like, oh, my question has been answered. Oh, this is what I've been looking for. Or oh, I knew all along he or she wasn't for me. And yet you put no effort in trying to understand either side. Right. And that's where the problem is. That's where we have to respect the process. Right. If you do not want to put forth the effort to try and learn what your spouse or your significant other is involved in, then you really need to question, your intentions and your motives for being together. So if you don't care anything about what they're doing or what they're involved in, or what's causing their daily motivation, or what's causing their, what's giving them their will to go on, besides, oh, well, I'm just living for the children. Oh, I'm just living to pay bills. Right? Like, I want to know what Foxy's, what her belief system is. I want to know why she believes certain things. I want to know what motivates her. I know, but if there's something new that she's learned, and she shares it with me, then hey, I want to learn it too. I want to know, the same, so we can be on the same page. If I don't believe it, and wholeheartedly I don't believe in what it is she's doing or whatever, then that's something that I'm going to deal with within myself. And the reason why is because, like I said, if it's motivating her, or if it's causing her to be the strongest version of herself, then I'm not going to, my opinion, I may tell her my opinion, but it's not something that I'm going to say, hey, it's either my way or the highway, right? Because that's what's working for her. Okay. And like I said, by no means is religious or organized religion meant to make you compatible or non-compatible with your spouse, right? There's no, there can't be no newfound belief system there that makes you want to separate from your spouse, right? The newfound belief system should enhance your knowledge of self, right? It should acknowledge your own personal power, that you have the ability to be the strongest version of yourself. In that enhances your relationship with your spouse. Do you get what I'm saying? So, I'm really leery about, telling people that, they should separate because they disagree on belief systems. I'm really leery about that. And I'm really, it really makes me nervous when people start throwing that around, because like I said, by no means is that there's really no reason, that belief systems should separate a family, right? It shouldn't do that. And I know what the Bible says, and I know the whole, the concept behind, what we believe the Bible to say, but we have to remember that you have customs, culture, and history in the Bible, and you also have the life that you're actually living and breathing and going through on a daily basis with your spouse. Okay, so what I'm saying is basically the Bible is a guide, right? It's a guide, just like you get policies and procedure manual at your job. Okay, they're guidelines in order for you to do your job. Same thing with the Bible; it's guidelines in order for you to live your life. So according to the guidelines, this is what you should do, or this is what we strongly suggest, and so on and so forth. No, it does not have to be that way. And when you can accept that it does not have to be exactly the perfect way, and if you're not doing every single thing according to this religious dogma, then we can't be together, right? We're ready to call it quits because you didn't pray when I prayed, or you didn't meditate when I meditated, or you're not conscious, because you don't come to the lectures in the conscious community, or you're no longer involved in the street ministry that we participate in to try and bring all our brothers and sisters back to consciousness. We have to be willing to respect the process that each and every one of us has to go through in order to learn the lessons that we came to learn, right? Like I always say, you chose to come here to incarnate in a body, right? To experience life inside of the body. So therefore, you signed a contract. Oh, okay. You chose this. Like I always say, you pull the program off of the shelf and download it into your system. You lowered your vibration to come into the womb, and go through the birthing period, go through the conception period and the pregnancy period, and you decided to come into life, reincarnating in life to have these experiences. This is what you signed up for. Okay. And no, am I saying, you absolutely have to stick with the person, no matter what. Only you know how serious the situation is. I don't. I don't know how serious the situation is. I could, like I said, it's just my opinion. It's just what I think and what I've come to realize in dating and coaching people in dating situations and relationship situations, it never turns out the way that you think it does because of a difference in belief system, right? It never turns out. You always end up later on down the line having an epiphany about something where it increased your consciousness and your ability to cognitively process information changes, right? And that's something that we have to be willing to endure. We have to be willing to endure change with each other, right? There's always going to be something that your spouse evolves from, right? When you first met, you guys were young and dumb, and you just, you wanted to break up every other day or every other week. Y'all were breaking up and getting back together, or every other month y'all were breaking up and getting back together. So, and then when the marriage came, things got a little more serious. You started planning life together, and children may be involved, and jobs may be involved, and bills, and you purchase houses and cars together, right? So these things tend to increase the bond, if you will. But a lot of people look at it as though, I have all, children, and I have cars, and I have bills, and I have a house, and we got all these things together, So I feel like I've stretched myself out financially, so I have to stay here and I have to endure this, right? And we twist ourselves up in that kind of stuff, right? And it shouldn't be like that. Like it really should be a situation where you yourself have the ability to choose life, right? You should have the ability to become the strongest version of yourself without being boxed in some type of belief system, or having to be entrapped by different forms of religious dogma. All right. And you should, it should just be whatever helps the person get to the strongest version of themselves. I can't stress that enough. And you don't want to take it to the point to where an ultimatum is presented just because you feel a difference in belief system, right? It's not worth it, guys. Trust me, I've been down that road. My first marriage was because of my inability to be compassionate and allow my wife at the time to learn, allow her to go through the process of learning and coming to the realization of realizing that, hey, things are really different. Things have, according to what we learned, things are really different when you actually get out in the world and you start having responsibilities of your own, right? And you have those challenges in life that make you question your belief system, right? You have those challenges that make you say, well, wait a minute. They didn't teach us about this. How do I deal with this? How do I overcome this? So there's a lot of things that you have to prepare for, and change and enduring change is one of those things that you have to prepare for. And there's always help. Like, we're available. You can reach out to us, marcusandfoxy.com. We are on a daily basis dealing with people who have issues, with trying to balance their so-called religious affiliations and trying to also balance their life with their spouse. So it's not something that we pretty much heard it all. We both have our own things that we've dealt with in the past, and like I said, there's nothing you can really say that we're going to be blown away by. We have a very non-judgmental approach to helping you become the strongest version of yourself, right? Whether that's you by yourself or you with a spouse, or dating or in a relationship or whatever. We can help you with that. We did an interview today, and it's on my page, Studio 9. It's called the radio show is called My Better Half. So definitely reach out to us if you need some help. We will gladly help you out. There's also resources on my page as well. marcusandfoxy.com is an excellent resource. Tells you a little bit about us, tells you a little bit about what we do. And you can always shoot us an email through there, contact us. And that is about it. That's all I wanted to share with you guys today. Make sure you go scroll down my page and make sure you look at the interview that we did with Ken and Sylvia on My Better Half, the My Better Half radio show. All right. So listen, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate it. If you are watching the replay of this, please let me know where you're from. That way I can give you a quick shout out. If you got any questions, please feel free to ask. Let me check the chat before I go. Okay. And I believe that is it. All right. Listen, live life to the fullest, guys. Y'all take it easy and try not to do too much. Peace. Bam.